Hi, I'm Rick from Devil Soul to Soul, and you're watching Loud TV.
So let's go, Rick, for this interview. And the devil is back.
We're back. We're back. It's
Yeah,
been a while.
9 years. 9 years after Empire of Lights.
The last album, yeah, it's 9 years.
So
That's a
of
lot.
course, you 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 may know my first question.
Go for
Why
it.
9 years? Why so much time?
Well, we've done the EP in between. Don't forget that. But yeah, no, for an album, it's a long time. I think just because we've been through a bit of a transition, I suppose, and we lost Ed. He left, and then Paul joined, and then we did a great EP, and we had some great tours, and then we had the anniversary shows for A Fragile Hope, and then we asked Ed to come back and do those, and then Ed and Paul just hit it off. So within all this time we've been doing a lot, and then it wasn't until after those anniversary shows where we actually decided, okay, let's write something new. We didn't know it was going to be an album, but we just thought, let's start writing, and here we are, however many years later, with an album. Well, it's interesting because I think the way people listen to music now or consume music, people want music all the time, and as bands, nowadays you need to be able to hold people's attention. So, I suppose the trend to go to EPs, shorter releases, probably means that you can then generate more output so that you can, keep people's attention for longer. Whereas obviously with an album, an album's taken us 9 years to do, once the album comes out, it's a body of work, but then, we're still probably going to have to then keep up the momentum and keep releasing more and more songs. So I can see why the trend is going towards EPs because it's quicker, but I think a lot more work goes behind an album, and especially when you have a team behind you, the record label and the press, there's a lot more work needed behind it, and I think it's a bit more maybe easier to get the exposure you need from an album because people just love to hear albums. But I don't know. I think I can see why EPs are getting popular now.
Yeah. And after 9 years on a new record label like Nuclear Blast, it means more pressure, suppose.
Well, there's always a pressure with release because you want it to be received as well as possible. But I mean, we're just over the moon to be with Nuclear Blast at the moment. We just couldn't be happier that they decided to pick the album up, and they've just got such a great team there that they're really kind of they're always showing us what we've been missing all these years, in terms of what goes on behind the scenes at the label, and they're just a really great bunch of people. So we're really looking forward to seeing this campaign through, and then eventually getting out and playing shows when we're all allowed to, whenever that will be. Yeah, it's been a tough time for a lot of us. Various things going on, just a real range of things really, and everyone's got their own stories. But yeah, that's basically where the album comes from, is this sense of loss and this sense of change. That's everyone inevitably faces in life, but this is our way of kind of dealing and healing with everything that's been thrown at us over the last few years. So it's kind of very organic where it's come from. It's obviously probably why it's taken a while as well, because it's that mixture of processing everything and then allowing that to filter through to the music. So yeah, it's a very personal album. I suppose that you probably write the best albums when you're unhappy rather than when you're happy, but maybe for heavy music that is. But yeah, I mean, you take your influences where you can really, and you never know what's going to inspire you. But certainly as a means to help any healing process, writing music is very kind of therapeutic in that sense.
Yeah. So how can you describe that Head is back to the band, and so again two singers?
Yeah. It's a very new outlook for us, and it's one that we didn't consciously think about it. It just happened. We invited Ed back for the anniversary shows, and they hit it off like they've been in a band together for 20 years. They're best friends now. It's like they're probably the closest out of all of us. It's interesting, yeah. So and it works on stage, it works on record. Their voices complement each other. I don't think as a band we would have entertained the idea if we didn't think it worked. And for us playing in the rehearsal studio, it just seemed natural, and it was a no-brainer really. It was like, well, this is the band now. It didn't really even need a discussion. It was just like, okay, Ed came back for the shows and then never left. So I don't think he actually realized that we actually thought this is it now, you're just back in the band for quite a while, until I think someone mentioned it in a WhatsApp group, and it's like, okay, so I guess I'm in the band again. It's like, yeah, well, yeah, of course.
So what can you tell us about the recording process?
We did at Bandit Studios in Tetbury, which is a studio owned by our guitarist Johnny, he recorded everything we've done. And yeah, we did it over the course of nearly a year and a half. I think it took to really finish every element of it. Obviously, with everything last year, it slowed things up quite a lot. But we had managed the beginning of the year to do a few sessions before all of the lockdowns started. So yeah, we kind of it's the COVID stuff really slowed things up, but I guess at the same time it did give us a little bit more time to kind of really polish and like finish off the album in terms of orchestration and sequencing and stuff like that. So I think the extra time on it was worth it in the end. It's a mixture really. Johnny and I take turns on all of the strings, depending what song, who's written what part. Like someone might have an idea, and then the layering, of course, is just one of the fun parts as well. So obviously when Johnny and I have recorded the guitars, then the fun part actually is when we then go in and layer up the guitars with different effects or what have you, as well as the actual orchestration as well. So yeah, that's kind of a joint effort there. It was probably one of the most fun aspects of recording.
Let's talk about live stuff.
Okay.
One of my friends and reviewer in Loud TV, he played in first part of your band, like on a boat in Paris.
The Batafar.
Yeah, something
okay,
like 10 years ago.
Oh yeah, we played a few times. Yeah.
Yeah. And so yeah, you should be impatient to play again.
Oh, absolutely. We've always loved playing in France. I think some of our best shows have been in France, in Paris, even in Nantes. We toured France a few years ago, quite a few years ago now. But I don't know. I think something with our music seems to resonate in France, and we always remember the early days when going to Paris and having sold out shows and on a tiny boat, and it's just like the atmosphere is incredible. So no, we're really looking forward to finally getting out and playing some shows, and as soon as it's safe to do so, then we will be out there. So I'm sure everyone else will. So we are looking forward to being back in France, that's for sure.
What was your last show?
Oh, good question. Very good question. I believe our last show we played with Employed to Serve in London. at the beginning of last year. Yeah. So so long, I can't remember it. So yeah, it was a great show, but sadly nothing since. So it's a question.
It was 1 year ago, right?
Yeah, probably a year or just over a year ago. Yeah. We've still got dreams of playing where we've never played. America's always the big one. We were very fortunate to play Japan a couple of years ago, and we really, really want to go back to Japan because we just loved it there. So we're hoping that we could get back to Japan, obviously around Europe again, because it's always great fun touring around Europe. We've never been to Scandinavia, so that would be quite fun. I've been there on holiday, but I've never played the show there, so I'd really like to do that. Canada even. So yeah, anywhere. South America. Yeah, we are open. We will play wherever anyone books us. So, if it's safe to do so, we'll do it.